Four of the five candidates for the Conservative Party leadership committed to maintaining the government's goal of reaching net zero emissions by 2050. The only one not to have done so yet is Kemi Badenoch. The move follows a warning from International Environment Minister Jack Goldsmith, who said that the leadership contenders needed to be more serious about climate promises, or the party will face dire electoral consequences. Now, his warning came as temperatures continue to soar across Europe, with Portugal reaching a record for July, hitting 47 degrees. Our chief correspondent, Alex Thompson, reports.
Extremadura in western Spain. There, like here, the heat and drought have yet to peak and the wildfires burn on. They expect new record temperatures in the coming days. Over the border, west into central Portugal, 300 people evacuated from a string of villages as the flames advance. North into France, the southwestern Gironde, more evacuations and wildfires. East to Croatia, so you see there ain't no such thing as a British heatwave. It's European, it's China and it's the US as well. Scientists no longer hedging. This is all made worse by our pollution, carbon dioxide and methane emissions. A new report says Western Europe is subject to more frequent and intense heating than almost any other area on the globe. So a clear warning tonight from at least one Green Tory grandee. Should any new Prime Minister attempt to water down our commitments to net zero, this is what will happen.
A Prime Minister who enters the next election in 18 months' time on an anti-net zero platform is not going to be a Prime Minister after that election. I think that it would be unforgivable, but it would also be electorally suicidal for the UK government, for the Conservative Party, to walk away from a really proud legacy internationally, a really proud position that we're in at the moment.
So what of the candidates? Despite some scepticism about net zero and ways of getting there, in the campaign tonight, 4 of the 5 remaining candidates have signed a pledge committing themselves to the 2050 goal.
I don't think it's realistic that any leader is actually going to be able to persuade Parliament to de-legislate. I mean, no UK Parliament is going to de-legislate our commitments around net zero. The market, in any case, is miles ahead of the politics. Renewables are cheaper than alternatives almost everywhere. More money goes into renewables than fossil fuels every year for the last 5 or 6 years. 90% of the world economy is covered by net zero commitments. We're not going backwards on net zero, no matter what candidates say. In my view, I just don't see that as the main risk. But just imagine that a candidate were to approach the next general election with a commitment to scrap net zero. There'll be a small minority of people who would celebrate that. But it's inconceivable, I think, that the British voter, the British electorate, would want to go anywhere near a political party that abandons its leadership.
Globally, Jack Goldsmith believes the diplomatic momentum gained through last autumn's COP climate summit could be lost if the new Prime Minister doesn't understand or decides to ignore science. Not just climate, but the interlinked issue, biodiversity, species loss and extinctions.
The leaders from other countries are asking for reassurance. They want to know that we're not going to walk away. I can't give them that reassurance because we haven't had that reassurance from the candidates. I mean, frankly, I'm not expecting, I would love to be able to say something different, I'm not expecting the UK leadership on the environment to mushroom in the coming weeks and months and run up to the next election. My main hope is that we don't go backwards. So in a sense, it's a kind of damage limitation exercise.
For example, he said, carry on destroying the Congo rainforest as we are, and will alter rainfall across much of Africa, causing an immigration crisis into Europe, the like of which we've never seen. He says the British public gets that. He's just not sure all the current would-be Prime Ministers do.
Now, there were